The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Nick Fantasy. They bring you offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $100 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Sunday afternoon, October 5th, around 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm Reichel, once again joined by Dylan Rockford together and break down the games for Monday. Bit of a weird schedule. We have the AL games today. We have the NL games tomorrow, so only 2 games on the card. Hopefully better than the game that's going on right now. But Dylan, how's it going with you? What's up?
What's going on, Scott? Other than I was telling you before we got on, after that, just being a Jet fan, other than that, everything's been good. Props been good today. Fantasy doing well, but how are you doing? Yankees not doing so good.
Yankees are getting their asses kicked. As for my fantasy team, I'm in a serious sweat because I'm against Igbuka. So I got to see what happens, but we're both going to be like the top 2 scoring teams in the league this week. So it just comes down to who finishes ahead of who, but it's not going to be fun. But we'll
for
see
your fantasy league, for highest score that week, do you get a prize?
Yeah, we usually give out like $20.
Yeah, we do $25 for the highest score per week. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but either way, point is I was kind of cruising and then Igbuka went crazy. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, a long way to go. We'll see what's up. But either way, to mention the game that's happening right now, of course, you have the Blue Jays who are destroying the Yankees 13-2 right now. They won the first game of the series by a ton as well. So right now, once again, we still have about 2+ innings to go. Toronto's outscoring New York 23-3 in the series. So yeah, if you want to talk about it, we can, because there's not really much to say. The Yankees have no-showed both games. The game was close early in game 1. Then Judge struck out with the bases loaded. Stan struck out. And then after that, the bullpen fell apart.
Yeah.
This game was just a complete no-show. There's really not much else to add. Yasevich was, of course, fantastic. He had a no-hitter when he got pulled. But Fried got killed. The Yankees fell behind early. And it was just a complete no-show from start to finish.
I was going to ask you, do you think Fried pitched all that bad?
I mean, he didn't pitch well. It didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
The Yankees had no hits anyway, but if you give up 7 earned in a postseason start, that's probably not what you need in a pretty much a must-win game. But it didn't matter. Fried's been owned by Toronto in this building all season, which I mentioned in the solo show yesterday. I like Toronto plus 1.5 at -132. That's going to cash easily, of course. But unfortunately, Ben Rice, though, got a hit. I had the no-hits for like plus 140, and he ended up getting a single, which, of course, means nothing because they're down 11 runs. But Fried was not good. It doesn't matter. The Yankees got destroyed from start to finish. So you can blame specific people. The Judge error that we ended up seeing in the outfield early on, it didn't matter.
Yeah,
the next batter had a 2-run homer anyway. Yeah. The whole team no-showed the entire series so far. So I got nothing else to really add. I feel like you can point fingers at Judge and everybody else. For me, it comes from the higher-ups because this team mentally just did not show up for any point of the series. I can't blame one player for that when pretty much the entire team has no-showed the first 18 innings.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Was the Red Sox your World Series?
It seems that way, at least based on what the Yankees did. I mean, the fact is they were down 1-0. They came back. They kind of thought Toronto would be a breeze, even though Toronto's owned them all season, especially in Toronto. I think after the game goes final today, the Blue Jays will be 8-1 against the Yankees in the Rogers Center this season.
Wow.
So the Yankees just can't win in this building. But in reality, the Yankees, I've mentioned many times this season, are a flawed team. It's why they did not win the division. It's why the bullpen's been a mess recently. I've criticized the approach of the plate being home run dependent. We've seen that today as well. The only 2 runs were from a Bellinger home run. They're not a fundamentally sound team. And when your bullpen's in shambles, when you chase a bunch of pitches out of the zone and you strike out, I think it was 11 times against the guy making his postseason debut, not a good sign and definitely not a fun series for me.
A lot of balls in the dirt too. I saw they swung at.
They're not even close.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. And I think obviously the storyline has to be Trey Savage. I mean, what he was able to do in his 4th career start. He's 22 years old. He had 10 Ks through 4 innings. He was pitching a no-hitter when they took him out versus a Yankee club that is really good, I think. And they no-showed, but it didn't even matter. You mentioned the error in the outfield. It really doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So Is it over? They're down 2-0.
I'm not going to say it's officially over because I've seen the Yankees come back from 2-0 down. I mean, that was against Cleveland years ago, but I do remember that in the DS. Do I think it's over? Yeah. I'm once again, I acknowledge that it is a 2-0 comeback, not a 3-0 comeback, so it is more doable historically than, of course, the 3-0 comeback, which happened one time in MLB history. But at the same point, the Yankees aren't built, in my opinion, to beat this Toronto team 3 times in a row. You're looking at the Yankees who need great starts from Rodon and Schlittler again. Game 5, I don't know what the hell they're going to do if they even get to that point. It's a problem that I want to have, obviously. But the Yankees, at the end of the day, are just worse than this Toronto team. Toronto constructs good at-bats. They work counts. They're deep. The pitching's been great, but I think it's mainly based on the Yankees' poor approach at the plate. But either way, I just think Toronto is a better team fundamentally.
Yeah.
And that's been on full display for the first 2 games of the series.
Do they bring back Cashman and Boone?
The Yankees always do.
Yeah.
They have an excuse for Cashman, an excuse as well. If Garrett Cole was here, it would have been a different spot, but it doesn't really matter.
At what point do the excuses run out, though?
Hal Steinbrenner believes in what he's doing, which is not taking any accountability and just letting the Yankees print money. So I don't think he cares. So I think Boone will be back. I think Cashman will be back, and we'll go from there. But I think it's a pretty damning statement on behalf of the Yankees fan base that this is the product we get after beating the Red Sox in the first round.
Yeah, I would agree. But someone in the chat said on to the Knicks. Scott is not a Knicks fan. He is a Brooklyn Net fan. So
I saw they beat up Paul Yerushalayim yesterday.
We're back,
by
baby.
Like 30. So that,
we might
that counts
be back.
for something. I found out, though, that Cassius Winston, remember the Michigan State point guard?
Oh, yeah, I do.
He plays for that Israeli team. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know. How did he do?
He didn't play. He was a DMP, but he was listed on the roster. He was listed on the roster,
great.
So there you go. But either way, point is the Yankees have their work cut out for them, but it's not really – it's a much bigger issue than simply blaming Judge or blaming Fried in this case. It's an organizational issue, and it has been for a while. They've kind of punted on fundamentals, and it's been something I've been critical of for the last couple of years especially. And once again, we're here in pretty much the same spot as we always are, which is staring down the barrel of elimination with a team that just doesn't play baseball the, in my opinion, correct way.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair criticism. But on a positive note, you did sweep the board in your WNBA podcast. So
yes, I did, which felt good.
Yeah,
I feel like most people forgot that was even on. But I had 2 player props that won easily, so WNBA went well. Shout out to the Aces, who took a 2-0 lead there. As for the other baseball games, I already recapped them yesterday, but if we're going to mention the games in a second with the Dodgers taking a 1-0 lead and the Tigers stealing game 1 on the road.
What a comeback.
I do want to ask you, though, you have any brief thoughts on game 1?
For which one?
For either one.
Well, the Mariners Tiger I thought was the best game last night. Julio Rodriguez I thought had a really good game, but honestly, it really wasn't enough. The offense, Cal Raleigh didn't show up. Just Julio Rodriguez showed up, and
no, Raleigh had 3 hits,
but they didn't really amount to anything.
I'm not going to blame Raleigh for that. He had 3 hits.
I know, but the only one who was substantially able to do anything was Julio Rodriguez. I feel like.
I have a trivia question for you.
What is?
Do you know how many hits the entire Seattle lineup had, excluding Rodriguez and Raleigh?
0.
That is correct.
Yeah.
They both had all 6 hits for the entire team.
So
I'm not going to blame Raleigh. At least he got some hits.
If it comes down to 2 batters, you're not going to win in this postseason. And the Tigers, the momentum continues after taking the series against the Guardians. They go on the road, and it was amazing. And now they give the ball to Skubal here in game 2. So that was really good. And then the Phillies and Dodgers one, we'll talk about that game. But Phillies had 1 good inning. They started off strong, and then they ultimately they blew it. They had 1 good inning, and they got Shohei on the road. That was a game they needed to win. Dodgers steal game 1, and with the way the offense has been playing, I just don't know how you don't back the Dodgers here.
Well, we'll mention that for game 2 in a little bit, but we're not going to talk about the of course, Tigers game 2, because that's going to happen later on tonight. So I kind of want your thoughts on game 1. The Tigers, they're up 1-0. Skuball's going tonight. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to sound like such a hater just mentioning this. I can't stand watching them play baseball.
The Tigers? Why?
They bore the crap out of me watching them play. They strike out all the time. They get no hits with guys on base, with the exception of McKinstry, of course, who had the go-ahead RBI in extras. They struck out 16 times in game one, and they still won. Like, I understand winning is winning, but damn, they're a painful, I'd say, brand of baseball.
Yeah.
You don't feel that way? Every game's 2-1, 3-2 in the 8th inning.
Yeah,
that doesn't drive you nuts a little bit.
It's a painful watch. I'm very old school where I don't mind the defense. It is boring.
I don't mind it for defense too. But when you strike out every time with guys on base, you go 2 for 11 in game one with RISP. Damn, it's a pain. It's really a pain to watch.
Yeah, I feel like this. I feel the same about the Cubs too. They're a painful watch as well.
That's a fair point as well. We'll mention that when we get into game two as well.
But yeah, I get it. They really don't hit. They strike out
winning
a lot.
is winning. I'm not going to roast it, but at the same point, if I'm watching a baseball game, the Tigers do play one of the more boring brands of baseball around.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll see what happens. But any other thoughts for the game ones?
No, that's all I had.
All right. Before we get into the games taking place on Monday, a reminder that you can check out the SGPN app for all the free picks and podcasts that we have on the network. So if you're tired of going through all the YouTube channels individually for our shows, check out all of the podcasts one easy location. But the SGPN app, free to download in the App Store to get access to our picks and our podcast. Moving on to the actual games here for the card here on Monday. So, starting off with the Dodgers as the early game, taking on the Phillies. For this one, Dodgers, of course, leading the series 1-0, courtesy of the Teoscar Hernandez home run that gave him the lead after his pretty rough misplay in the field earlier in the game. He made amends as he took Strom deep for the three-run homer. For this matchup, though, you're looking at a good pitching matchup. You have Snell against Luzardo. Dodgers minus 135. Phillies are plus 115. For the over-under, I see 7.5. Now, Snell, we know, has been here before. He's been around the block a few times. Luzardo, not as much of a playoff resume compared to Snell. Snell was also very good to end the regular season. He ended up allowing 3 earned in his last 4 starts combined. So we're expecting him to pitch pretty well. In this one, Luzardo was quite up and down all season, especially lately. Faced off against the Dodgers 2 starts ago. Gave up 4 earned in 7 innings on the road on the 17th of September. Was very good against Miami. Last start, though, 7 innings and no earned, but he has allowed 4 earned in 2 of his last 3, which kind of sums up his entire season. Dodgers, though, laying a number on the road, which feels kind of fair. We could argue disrespectful towards Philly. I like the Dodgers in this game. I'm not sold on Luzardo at all, and I do think that the Dodgers who got to him in his last start against them tells me that the Dodgers will not be afraid. They got to Sanchez at the end, or at least the inherited runners were charged to Sanchez. They got the job done. I don't trust Philly's bullpen. And apparently the Dodgers found a closer in a rejected starter. So Sasaki's been really good in the 9th inning. I'll go with the Dodgers here. I like the lineup. I like the starting pitcher by comparison. And Luzardo might struggle. Wouldn't shock me. He has not been in many big starts in his career up to this point. Give me Snell. Give me the Dodgers minus 135.
Scott, we have a question in chat for you. They said, do you like Skubal Fade tonight?
I think he'll pitch pretty well. But do I feel great about it? I like the under in the game. I think Skubal getting shelled could just be 3 earned, and that's it. So I like the under 6.5 in that game. But either way, I think he'll give up a couple. I don't see him pitching perfectly, but I think Seattle at plus money is appealing for the game tonight. But either way, back to the Dodgers thing. I like the Dodgers in game 2.
Yeah, I agree. I see a minus 125 on an offshore book. I took that. My numbers actually made him a minus 130 favorite. I know Blake Snell's kind of struggled on the road this season, but he just faced his Phillies team back in September, and he completely shut them out. Granted, it was in LA, but 7 scoreless innings, only gave up 2 hits, 12 strikeouts. I feel like another positive note for Blake Snell as well is that he finished the season really strong on the road in his last start. Only 1 run given up versus the Snakes in 5 innings. And you touched on Jesus Luzardo. His ERA at home isn't the best. And the last time he faced this Dodger team, he got smoked. He's given up 2+ runs in 4 of his last 6 games. And with the way the Dodgers have been scoring the ball this postseason, I don't see how we could fade him here. I really think the bye hurt this offense. I mentioned it earlier. We only saw 1 truly good inning for the Phillies, I felt like, yesterday. They've scored 5+ runs in 5 straight games, the Dodgers. So I like their team total over. I also like them on the money line. I like them for the series as well.
Yeah, I do want to point out, though, Luzardo, I mentioned that his lack of postseason experience. He has not pitched in the postseason since he was with the Marlins back in 2023. So he had 2 outings with the A's back in 2019 and 2020, one with the Marlins in 2023. So far in his career, 14 2/3 innings, a 6.14 ERA.
Yep.
So not good, and I think he might get in trouble into this one. Yeah. So you're mentioning the bye, which didn't help, because I know the core of the offense, besides Real Muto, did nothing in Game 1. This is who the Phillies are. I feel like you can argue they've had more success than the Yankees recently, but the Yankees made the World Series, so I actually might push back on that. They remind me of each other offensively every year. They're very home run dependent, and it feels like when the home runs dry up, they don't score.
No.
And we saw that in Game 1. Remuto had the triple courtesy of the Teoscar misplay. It would have been extra base hit anyway. It just got him an extra base. But the Phillies, every year, we saw it when they lost both home games to the Diamondbacks a couple years ago.
Last year with the Mets.
Last year with the Mets, that was mainly in Citi Field. When they don't hit home runs, they don't score in the postseason. It's been a very common theme.
Yeah.
Schwarber, we know, has a pretty decent track record in the playoffs of success. Harper hasn't really done much in the postseason for a while.
Nope.
And I feel like nobody really calls him out for it, and I'm calling him out for it. I feel like it needs to be said. So I actually want to pull up the Harper postseason numbers because I feel like they're not good. Am I missing something? I feel like Harper hasn't really had a postseason moment for a while. In his career, .279 batting average with 17 homers in the postseason. But I'm looking at the last couple of seasons with the Phillies, and he had a great first year with them, 349, then 286, 333, so pretty good overall. And then this year, 250. So overall, his numbers are fine in the postseason, but you're kind of hoping he can lift the team a bit more. He had 6 homers in 2022, 5 in 2023. He had 1 last year, and of course, 1 game in, he has 0 home runs. So I think you could expect Harper or Schwarber to potentially step up. They need to. But the Yankees and the Phillies are very home run dependent in the postseason, and it's why they have not won any titles lately. That's always my takeaway. Is that a fair statement, or am I being a little bit too harsh?
No, I don't think you're being hard at all. And one thing that both of these teams have in common outside of being home run dependent is both of their bullpens stink. So when you lack home runs and then your bullpen comes in that you're not getting a good start from your starter, you're not going to win games. And that's exactly what we see here in the second round from the Yankees and the Phillies.
Yeah, I think the Yankees, of course, are, you could argue, basically dead. I think Philly's a better team than New York if you're going by depth, but the bullpen concerns are there. The lineup issues, I think...
You would actually make the Phillies a favorite in the series versus the Yankees?
I think I would, honestly.
Really?
I think I would. If I had to group them, I think I would pick the Phillies, but it wouldn't be a strong opinion. I think both teams are flawed. I think the Dodgers are the best team in the league.
Yeah.
You could argue them, or right now, I mean, Milwaukee and Toronto have been playing great, but I did pick the Dodgers to win the World Series during the
shocker
playoffs, whatever. I mean, it's fine. Lonte picked the Yankees.
Plus money.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Lonte picked the Yankees. We both picked Dodgers, Yankees in the World Series. That's not going to go well, of course, the American League.
And me and Mal picked the Mariners.
Dodgers, I feel fine with. I mean, they do this every year. Their bullpen is $1 trillion, and they win games.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I like the Dodgers here to win this game. You can argue Phillies maybe bounce back at home. I trust Snell. I don't trust Luzardo at all. And the Dodgers' offense, as you said before, even with Ohtani going 0 for 4 with a bunch of strikeouts, it didn't matter.
No.
The other guy stepped up.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyway,
honestly, you know who's real quick before we move on. You know who's been really good. And I could just be saying this. Kike Hernandez in the postseason.
Yes.
It just feels like every time there's a big hit, Kike Hernandez makes it.
Pretty much. But the Dodgers are so deep.
They're so deep.
And it's really tough to pick against them. So, yes, I went relatively chalk, but I'm not going to regret taking the Dodgers when you look at their pitching staff. And you have Ohtani into Glass now, into Sasaki. Like, what the hell is that?
It's fucked up.
And then you have Snell, and then you have Yamamoto going Game 3. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Of course I'm taking the Dodgers.
I can't wait to see, when it goes back to LA to see Magic and Rob Lowe in the stands. They just need to put the umpire hat on. Yeah, he looks like
I mean, even with the Dodgers, though, Ohtani didn't do anything in Game 1. Freeman's done nothing this postseason. You haven't noticed. Who cares? Because they win every game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So I'll go with the Dodgers anyway for Game 2. Before we get into the other game on the schedule for Monday, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, which is MyBookie.ag. Seasons to bet on football and playoff baseball, WNBA as well, tennis. Their prop builder second to none. Their model simple. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Use crypto for deposits and payouts. And you sign up for your new account. Use the code SGPN for a special 100% bet back bonus $100 for new customers. And with the G promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig, which is America's #1 prediction market for sports. Since Novig's an exchange, we're getting some great prices compared to sports books. It's available 35 plus states, so make sure it's available in your state. Download the Novig app, $50 when you spend just $5. And to actually get access to that deal, you have to use the promo code SGPN when you sign up for a new account. So once again, use the code SGPN for our special offer. Spend $5, get $50 in bonus funds when you use the promo code SGPN at Novig. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first game 2 on the card for Monday. Time to move on into the second game, which was very ugly as well. On the bright side for the Cubs, people forgot about how bad that game was because of the 2 Yankee games against Toronto so far. But damn, the Cubs got destroyed. The Brewers killed them. They scored 9 runs in the first 2 innings and coasted to a nice, easy win. The game peaked for Chicago on the first batter. Bush homered, and after that, it was over. It was a rout very quickly. Now, Churio got injured, hurt his hamstring, as he got his 3rd hit in basically 3 innings. He got injured in the game. But the Cubs no-showed game 1. Milwaukee looked as good as advertised as they coasted, and we ended up seeing Peralta pitch pretty well. It didn't matter how well he pitched. They scored 9 runs in 2 innings, but Boyd got shelled, and we'll see if the Cubs can bounce back. For this one, you have Ashby going for Milwaukee, as I'm assuming an opener for somebody, and you have Imanaga going for Chicago. So for the actual pricing, Milwaukee's minus 118. I see 120 in some spots. Chicago's plus 105. For the over-under, I see 8 in this game. So we know Ashby is mostly a reliever. So far, the season has been good, a 2.16 ERA. However, he has gone to less than 3 innings in basically every outing, so he's going to be an opener for this start. Imanaga has been terrible lately, very consistently bad, and he was not good against San Diego. Give up 2 runs in 4 innings, but the last couple starts, 8 earned, 3 earned, 3 earned, 3 earned. You can really go down the line. Gives up home runs every start. He has allowed a total of, I actually got to go through this. This is disgusting. He's allowed at least 1 home run in 10 straight starts, and he's allowed a total of, 16 home runs during that span. He cannot keep the ball in the damn ballpark. Now, Milwaukee scored 9 runs with 0 home runs in game 1. I like Milwaukee in this game. I said this for the series money line and for the price in game 1. I don't get where this respect for Chicago is coming from. I don't think they're a good team.
No.
I think San Diego is a playoff choking franchise, which we see every year. They no-showed another elimination game. Shout out to the umpire for the bad call on Bogarts. But the Cubs really didn't do much that entire series, and yet they won because San Diego couldn't hit. So the Cubs, I think, are a fine wild card team. That's what they are. They're a wild card team. Milwaukee was the #1 seed in the entire regular season, and they're really, really good, especially at home. Milwaukee this season, as a reminder, including the playoffs, is 53-29 at home. But you're looking at a pretty simple handicap for me, which is Milwaukee being at home, being really good, and Imanaga being quite vulnerable for the last 2 months. Give me Milwaukee minus 118.
Yeah, short number, I feel like, as well.
Very short.
Minus 118, I don't get it. My numbers made him a minus 140, which maybe could be a little bigger, but I still like the Brewers here. And I mentioned earlier that the bye kind of hurt the Phillies. It didn't hurt the Brewers at all. I mean, and it broke out really early as well. 9 runs in the first game, in game 1. Exploded early. And to be honest, I feel like tomorrow could be another one of those games for Milwaukee. You mentioned it, at home, they're just a wagon. And Imanaga, I'm really not a big fan of him. He didn't look the best last week versus the Padres, and he ended the year extremely poor. You mentioned the numbers. He's given up 3+ runs in 6 straight games to close out the season. Home runs are an issue, and the Cubs have lost his last 4 road starts as well. So I'm going to fade him, going to fade their offense. They haven't scored more than 3 runs this whole postseason. You mentioned it. Even in their wins, they don't. It's ugly. It's 3-1. So you mentioned the Tigers, and you asked me about them. The Cubs are the same thing. They're disgusting to watch. So I don't really think they're a good team either. I don't mind the Brewers going with kind of like a bullpen type day with Aaron Ashby starting. I still think they're clearly the better team. So yeah, I'm going to be on the Brewers here.
and I said this as my series lock for the before game one. Milwaukee to win the series is minus 116.
Crazy.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
No.
I don't think the Cubs are good
At all.
So I got Milwaukee again. For the total, I did like the over in game one, which got there. I think I like the over again, but maybe Milwaukee team total over, just avoiding the Cubs because I don't trust Imanaga at all. And you might see a couple of home runs in this game for Milwaukee. So I'm on the over for this game at 8. Any thoughts on the total?
On the total seems spot on. My total came out to 7.9. So I actually like the over for the Dodgers game. My total came out to 8.1. So I do think we might see some runs in that one. So I like the total of that. I like the Dodgers team total over. And yeah, I agree. Maybe Brewers team total over. You know what I've actually been betting, and I credit you. First 5 team total overs. I like them. Usually they're at like 1.5.
In the playoffs, they're always 1.5.
And they're a little chalky, but I don't mind paying like minus 135, minus 145. I had the Milwaukee team total over in the first 5 yesterday. It was minus 140.
They cashed in 5 minutes.
It cashed in 5 minutes. So, yeah, I actually like that one as well.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. Imanaga, I think, might give up a handful. So that's fine with me too.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the 2 games. Once again, pretty weird schedule. We divided up the AL with the NL, which I guess makes sense if you want constant baseball action. But it does elite to 2 games, which is kind of an underwhelming podcast schedule. But either way, it's not really our fault. It is what it is. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the 2 games on Monday. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Before we get into the lock and dog, remember, brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. You can use your fantasy pick'em entries for a chance to win 5 times your entry, pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Available for a ton of different sports as well. They have baseball, they have WNBA, they have tennis, hockey. Hockey starting up. You can do hockey stuff as well. But they have a new offer for new customers. So get in on the action with Underdog with the new offer. Play just $5, $50. Sorry, get $100 in bonus funds. Used to be $50, now it's $100. So you get $100 in bonus funds when you spend just $5 if you use the promo code MLB SGPN when you sign up for your new account. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. We're off to a great start in college football and the NFL. They have a new leaderboard system with cash prize every week for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of any type from any model that you build, and you can win $1K. And also a reminder, we have a promo code with Rhythm for a discount. Use code SGPN25. We can download the Rhythm app for a quarter off first month. That Rhythm, once again, promo code SGPN25. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the 2 games on the Monday card. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Dylan, what do you like as your lock and dog for the show?
Yeah, for my lock, I'll take the Brewers here straight up. I don't understand the price here. We're going to fade Imanaga, who's just been a no-show and just a fade to end the season. So I'll take that at minus 118 as my lock. As my dog, I will take the Dodgers here on the run line, on the road, minus 1.5 at plus 140. Not a believer in Jesus Luzardo. I didn't know his postseason stats, so thank you for that. Over a 6 ERA. We're gonna fade that, and we're just gonna back the bats of the Dodgers, who have been red hot to end the season and even in the playoffs. So gonna take the Dodgers here, minus 1.5 at plus 140.
All right. For me, I like Milwaukee. Simply put, I'll take Milwaukee money line at minus 118. I think it's a great price. Milwaukee, I had the run line in game 1. That was plus 150. Sure. I mean, whatever.
It's plus 170 tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I still like it.
Yeah.
I do think Churio being out's a big deal, but I think Milwaukee can overcome that because Chicago can't hit. But I'll go with Milwaukee money line once again as my lock. For my dog, do I think Luzardo just gets absolutely blasted in this game? I think he might. It wouldn't totally shock me. I mean, the Phillies bullpen, though, is bad, too.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll go for it. Philly's been underwhelming offensively in general. And at home, they do lose a decent amount of big playoff games. Give me the Dodgers, minus 1.5. I'll take it at around plus 140. I see it's the best number.
Yeah.
So we had the same place?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
what
fine
could
with
go
that.
Wrong?
Yeah. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here.
No.
I didn't mind Milwaukee run line. Thought about flipping them, actually. Dodgers money line with the Brewers run line. But I do like getting the road team for the run line instead of the home team. So that's kind of why I went with the same plays as you. Bit underwhelming, anticlimactic, because we have the same exact thoughts. But either way, I think it's cut and dry. Give me the better teams to win both games on Monday. I'm going to ask you, because we only have 2 games again on the spot, what is your home run pick?
Well, you mentioned Jesus Luzardo. Well, not Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo. He's not good. I'm going to take Teoscar Hernandez. We saw him hit a home run the other day. I'll take him to hit one tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, so for mine, I'm going to fade Imanaga because he gives up a home run every damn start. Who do I want to go with? because they have a couple of guys who have some homers against them. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it. He had a double, he had a couple hits. Give me Contreras on
nice.
Milwaukee. I think it's a good spot. I see some. I'll check if there's prices out actually, because we might actually have home run numbers already being posted. So you said Teoscar, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let me just see what Teoscar is for the home run. Teoscar tomorrow is, I see 445.
Nice.
So that's your number, 445. For mine, Contreras to hit a home run is available at, I see 457.
Nice.
So similar numbers, we'll go for it. Anyway, let's go wrap it up
Go.
for the show. We're back once again tomorrow to get into the Tuesday games. Till next time.